Hey there, I wanted to show you, I wanted to do a video of all the mods that I did to my 1968 Nichols 12-foot semi-V Jon Boat. So there it is, all covered up right now. So let me show you what I did. And there it is. That's my refurbished 1968 or 69 Nichols aluminum Jon Boat. So I'll show you as many details as I can. So to start off, I'm going to go through a bunch of pictures of what it looked like when I first got the boat. It was laying in my neighbor's yard, actually in the trees behind his house, since 2004, I think. It had a registration sticker that expired in 2006, and I know he hadn't touched it since then, or maybe 2007, something like that. And it is currently 2018. I did all this work in 2017, so I guess it had been laying in the woods behind his house for 10 years plus. Anyway, he just gave it to me, and I drug it over to my yard and started pressure washing it. Took all the dirt off of the bottom, and it went from a dingy gray, black, dirt covered piece of junk into something that started to look like it would have potential to turn into a decent boat. So got all the dirt cleaned off. I ended up using multiple grinders to get all of the old junk off of the inside and outside. I stripped it down to nothing. Took all the paint off and tore one of the seats out in the middle. Grinded down all of the well, I used a bristle brush, and I went all the way around the boat on the aluminum rail. Took that down to basically so it looked new again. Shined it up. Then I flipped it over and started painting it. And I just used spray paint that I got from Walmart. I used a self-etching primer and painted it gray and red on the outside, and then painted the inside red. Then I got to work on the framing of the boat. I coated all of the wood. I just used 2x4s and plywood from Lowe's. Coated all of the wood in a water seal. So I think that'll be okay. I'm sure there's other stuff that I could have used to make it last longer, but I think that'll last for quite a bit. So I coated everything water seal, and then got some indoor-outdoor carpet from Lowe's. I think it's like $5 for a yard of it, or $5 for a foot, and it's 12 feet wide. So I didn't spend a lot of money on that. Made all of the doors. Bought some seats and seat posts and the swivel chair connectors or chair mounts. Bought those all from Walmart. They were all really inexpensive. And found a marine battery. Actually, it was a deep cell battery that was used on a construction site, and got that on Craigslist for $100. Found a 55-pound trolling motor on Craigslist. The guy got it with the boat, didn't need it, and he sold it to me for $85. And then I found a couple 1960s models Mercury outboard motors. One was a 4 horsepower, one was a 4.5 horsepower. I knew nothing about outboard motors, so I joined a Facebook group for outboard motor repair, and those guys talked me through all the different steps to get these motors running. I took parts from both of the different motors. I completely disassembled both of the motors down to the nuts and washers and bolts, and rebuilt the carburetors, put them all back together. Turns out that one of the motors has a bad I can't think of what the name of the part is, but it was going to cost about 150 bucks to fix it, so I just didn't put any money into it. So I got the 4 horsepower motor working great. It runs, the thing will run forever, it seems like. No problems at all with it. So here's a little video of the maiden voyage as my son and I were cruising on the Shenandoah River in Virginia. And it ran great. No issues at all from day one. Actually, the longer I run it, the better it runs. So yeah, the motors work great. Not sure what I'm going to do with the other 4.5 horsepower. Might just part it out or eventually try to get it fixed up. So that's an overview of all the work that I did to build the thing. So now let me show you what it looks like today. So here we go. You can see I put a bunch of doors on hinges. This one up front holds the fire extinguisher and a couple life jackets. And I'll show you what this is for in a little bit. Got a door here that holds some tackle. Have another door on the other side with some tackle. I put a hinged door here. I just cut the board in half, put some hinges underneath of it, put a string on it, and that's how I access the where the drain plug goes. And then the gas tank for the outboard motor is right here. Got a 6-gallon tank. I got that from Walmart for like 60 bucks. There's the trolling motor I was talking about. I put a piece of my neighbor, another neighbor, had some old cedar fence boards that he wasn't using, so we cut that up, put one on each side, because cedar doesn't rot. So that's what I'm using on the outside. You can see here's the handles. I had to grind all those down. Not grind them down, I just used a wire brush and took all the old junk off of there. You can see how I did the same thing on all the aluminum rail. Here's the framing. It looks like it's holding up fine. It just got rained on last night, so you can see there's water in the boards, but all that just dries up and it doesn't warp the boards at all. I put hinges on all the doors, just one hinge on each one, and I use Velcro right here, and that sticks to the Velcro there. Sticks great. And then the seats, there's cheap folding seats from Walmart. And then here's that massive battery I was talking about. There's all kinds of stuff on top of it now, but and my wires are a mess. But they work, so I don't care what they look like. So to show you the electronics that I did, I put everything's hooked into the battery, obviously, and then I've got some different connections here, and here's what all of those do. Well, this one controls a water pump. I had a leak, and so I hooked up a pump. I think you can hear that. Yeah. So that's the pump that's underneath, a bilge pump. And so I can turn that on and off whenever I want. I've got a switch here that does this light, and one on the other side. I've got this one, this switch does LED cup holders. I don't know if you can see those or not, it's pretty bright out today. So yeah, I got 2 cup holders on there, one on each side. I haven't hooked anything up to these other 3 toggle switches yet, but here's the voltmeter. It's got I think, what is that, 9 volt, 12 volt? I don't know, let's call it 9 volt. That's a connection for that. I use that to charge my cell phone, and I have a little portable Bluetooth speaker that I plug into that, so that works good. I did have a bunch of these cup holders on here, but I have 4 of them. I took 3 of them off and installed these LED cup holders that I ordered from China for like, I don't know, 13 bucks for the pair. One of my favorite things on this is the winch that I installed. So you can see back here, I have a little remote that hangs right here. Let me get that connected and I'll show you what it, or disconnected and I'll show you what it does. So here's the control for the winch. So I use it for 2 things. One is I hook the cable up to the anchor, throw it over the boat, and then just hit extend, and it drops the anchor down in the boat. The other thing that it does is it's connected to the trailer. So this is solid, connected to the boat. That's connected to the plywood that's under here, and then I've got some other boards that are reinforcing it underneath. So I can pull the boat right up onto the trailer using that wireless remote. It works really, really good. And another electrical thing that I added, you can see this white wire right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see this in the daylight or not, but I got this from Amazon, and I ran LED lights. I think you can see that. There's a white strip up in there, and they go all the way around the boat. There's one strip that goes down the left side, one that goes down the right side, and I think you'll be able to see it from back here. Yeah, there you go. They actually function as tail lights on the boat also. So there they are, and you can change colors. Blue and green. I usually leave red on when I'm driving down the road. It just makes it easier to see, and it's actually pretty cool looking. Then I put a piece of Velcro on the back, and it just sticks right to my carpet. What else? I got this Garmin fish finder. Got that on sale at Dick's. It's pretty cheap. Works really good. What else? Oh, so for the trolling motor, I also installed a foot pedal right here, or a button. It just turns the motor on and off. It doesn't control the speeds. I usually just leave that on and reach back and control the motor with the handle. But if I'm just kind of cruising up a shoreline, I can leave the motor set on speed 1 and just tap the foot button here and there, and it'll move me around. It's pretty slick. What else? Oh, the wiring for the motor. I just came from the battery, bought some red and black wire from Lowe's, ran it up through this piece of PVC conduit up through there. You can see I had to kind of trim around these. I didn't want to lose the stability of the original boat, so I had to trim the board around that. It was kind of a hassle, but worth it. It looks pretty good. The original seat is still in there. I just put wood on top of it. There's a board here. It swings open. I have to move that PVC out of the way, but that board will swing open, so I can get underneath there if I need to. It also made it easier to wire the cup holder lights. So I don't know what else I'm going to add to it. You see I got some stickers. Put some shark teeth and eyes on there. Got it registered in Virginia. Bassaholic, the Rod Father, Fish On, and whatever this fish thing is. And I guess the only other thing I can think of to show you is I just added these little rod holders. I got those from Walmart for like $3 a piece. So I guess it makes sense to show you this part. So this is a false bottom floor. I had to measure and trim and cut and measure and trim and cut just to get that at the right height. But it's solid as can be. Both the boards, I showed you that one earlier, but this one is the same way. It's connected to the front of the seat. I was able to use the seats to be the most stable part of the boat, so I could connect all the other boards to that. So that's kind of the foundation of how I connected everything. Yeah, I got these little connectors from I forget where I got those, Amazon I think, and they make it super simple to disconnect the motor if I need to. There's the 4 horsepower Mercury I was telling you about. I don't know what I'm doing here. Yep, here we go. It's kind of wet right now. It got rained on last night, but yeah, I totally rebuilt that thing from scratch, and it runs like a dream. Forward, reverse, all that stuff works great. I did have to put a new water pump and impeller on it. That was pretty simple. Just went to YouTube and found instructions and nothing to it. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole boat. Oh, the trailer. If you're curious about that, I found the trailer for, I don't know, $100. Made sure it had a title with it, and this was a bad idea. I'm going to change this. I actually put wheels on it, thinking it would make it roll smoother, but it didn't. I'm going to switch back to carpeted bunks. The wheels actually push up into the boat, and they kind of dented it a bit, and that's why I had that leak a while ago. So you can kind of see it pushes up on the that main, whatever it's called, that thing on the bottom of the boat that goes front to back, and it kind of pushed the rivets loose. So I sealed them, but I wish I wouldn't have done it, because I should have just left the bunks as is. But yeah, the thing works great. My little motor, it tops out at a whopping 7 miles an hour. Anyway, back to the trailer. I had to rewire the whole thing. I put new wires on it. Got these from Harbor Freight. Got the wiring kit from Harbor Freight. I put new side lights on it, but the tail lights were fine. They were good. I couldn't see the boat, the back of the trailer, when I was backing into the water. So I took these PVC pipes, heated them up with a heat gun, and bent them a little bit. See how they're bent, so they angle out away from the boat. And then I just put this bigger piece of PVC pipe that I spray painted red, and then I got those on both sides so I can see when I'm backing into the water. I think that's it. If you have any questions, leave some comments, and I'm happy to respond when I get the time. Yeah, that's it. I hope that helped. You can probably do a better job than I did, because I just winged it as I went along. But yeah, enjoy and ask questions if you have any. See ya.